All right. Think I'm broadcasting. It's been a little bit since I've done this. So let me. Oh, there we go. Think I'm broadcasting. I gotta mute myself. There we go. Pop out chat. Put it up above. What's up, Chris? What's up, Phoenix Matt? How are you guys doing tonight? All right, so now I got chat up, and now I have my Google Hangout up as well. What's up, OTB? All right, guys, so I am already sweating my butt off. Whew, this is why the last live stream I did, I was in my office area. How's it look? How's it sound? Is it pretty crisp for you guys? Let me know how it sounds. Might be a little bit of a delay. Whew. Sounds good. All right, we got some usual suspects in here between OTB and Chris and Matt. Oh yeah, you like those helmets, Matt? Very Christmassy. This one's actually orange, but let me show you. I don't wear it anymore because that is from a crash. That was from a crash in Colorado in Red Rock Canyon. Check out that video. OTB, I did not change stream cams. It is the same one. It is a Logitech. It's the one that's like right under the Brio. Yeah, Mountain Bike Geek. Yep. So this is one of my go-tos for a long time. It's called Love Street. A lot of people are on the fence about Carbach Brewing out of Houston because they got bought by, I think, Anheuser-Busch. But anyhow, the reason why I called this stream tonight is I'm about to go on my first bike park experience to Angelfire, New Mexico. My first shuttle or lift bike park experience. So I'm pretty stoked. What's up, Paul the Punter? I'm going to be hitting up Angelfire in Taos, New Mexico. It's about a 12-hour trip for me. So I'm very, very excited about it. I can't wait to, what I imagine would happen is that I progress. So I wanted to get some stuff out of the way, wanted to show you some things that I'm getting ready to pack up. Get this chair out of the way. All right, so a couple things I got coming up. I'm going to wait until I get back at this point. I have got I don't know if you can see the logo, PNW Bachelor seat post, thanks to Mountain Bike Geek. My reverb needs serviced, and it's really punching me in the taint every time I ride now, so I need to just, it was either put the wolf tooth conversion kit on the reverb and get it serviced. It would be like $100 bucks, or put on this nice mechanical / pneumatic jobber post, the PNW Bachelor. Chris, oh yes, I am going with a full face. If you go to Angelfire, you must wear a full face. I'm almost 100% positive. Most bike parks are like that. So I wore this, I've worn this once. I don't know if I've shown everyone. This is the Kali Shiba 2.0. Kali Protectives has been super awesome to me so far. First, because I wear a large helmet normally. All three of these are larges and they fit me perfectly. But full face is a different story. I end up looking like this in the full face. So what Kali did is the large and the extra large are actually the same actual shell of the helmet, and the only difference between the large and extra large is the pads that go in. So they basically just sent me a free set of pads for the extra large because the large pads were squishing my face a little much. So Cali Protectives, they're awesome. 100% back them. All right, let's see. What else do I got? Oh, so if anyone will happen to be at Angelfire while me and my friends are there, I've got a crap ton of stickers. I've got stickers. I've got some buttons. Let's see if I can get this. They're pretty dope. Every time Sticker Mule sends me an email saying that they have some new thing, like they just sent me one today for die cut stickers, I just hop on it because it's insanely cheap whenever they send us the deals. Yeah, OTB, total chipmunk face. That's what it was for me. So I got those. I also got a couple of these in thanks to Dialed MTB. I don't know if that's blurry or not. Hold on, let me try something. There you go. So I got these sick mud guards. He only sent me a couple of them just as a trial run to check them out. I don't know if I'm going to be selling them at this point, like at least not in the short term. So what I'm going to do is this is going to my top Patreon tier. I call them the inner circle. It's like $6 a month, and we actually do a Google Hangout. So everybody that's in that tier, every other week, bi-weekly, we all get into Google Hangout. We all talk for like an hour, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. It depends, and it's fun. It's fun. It's a great way to like help build up that community of like all my diehard people, and I'd love to see more people in that group. So consider signing up on Patreon if you haven't. But yeah, I'm gonna send them out to my top tier. After that, I might just like start giving them away to people that I see on the trail until they're gone. If people are really into it, what I'll do is I'll probably set up some sort of e-commerce store. These are ones that don't get drop shipped, so I just need to put a bulk order together whenever I'm ready to sell them. And like I have Mucky Nuts right now, but I'm considering putting one of these on. What else do I got? Oh, speaking of merch, I hate repping merch so much, but no one wants me to say Google. Very funny. So I got a proof of concept, or I got a proof for the jerseys. These are actually up for sale now on the Podium Wear site. So this is just like a couple different swatches. They wanted me to see how the colors look. And so if you notice, like even in that bottom corner, I've still got my brake logo worked in. I will put a link in the description of this video to those jerseys. They're pretty high quality. They are amazing. I can't wait. I've already ordered 2 just because I'm stoked to have my cool logo on a jersey. Also, I'm not taking any, there's no profits for me out of this. They're basic. It's just like a team jersey. It's $50 for a 3/4 sleeve jersey. And then there's also female jersey orders for those of you out there like Jessica and Charlotte and Lindsay, my wife. She's probably not going to order one, but for any of you that ride that want a women's jersey, feel free to do that as well. I'll put the link in the description. If any of my patrons that are in here, if any of you want to drop in the link, that would be awesome too. Or anyone that has the link from a last video. So funny story. This is why my son wanted me to say "goo goo" on the stream, is because we showed him Stuart from Mountain TV, and he calls his privates in the Stuart sketches his "goo goo," and my kid thinks it's super hilarious. He's 6. To be honest, I'm 38, and I still think farts and butts and stuff like that are funny. Okay. Oh. I got a package today. This was huge. This blew my mind. So I met this guy. I have a friend that runs a shuttle in Bend, Oregon. His name is Seth. And he met a guy that works for a local bike shop out there in Bend that happened to be on his shuttle. And he has a right hand, but no left hand. So he looked me up, started following me, we started talking back and forth. He actually has same prosthetic attachment, maybe. Anyway, we started talking back and forth. He works for a local bike shop. He ended up sending me left-hand gloves. So 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 left-hand gloves. There's like a lifetime supply. So, you know, I got to thank him. I will actually put a link to his Instagram down below, so you should follow him. He's pretty cool. He's got a great story. He's also an adaptive mountain biker, and I will be sending all of my right-hand gloves to him, and we got a little like pen pal exchange. But he also works for a company. Oh, I guess I can show this. He sent this as well. It's called Hutch's Bicycles. It's in Bend, Oregon. And he also sent me some stickers for Hutch's Bicycles. So super awesome dude. Definitely check out that shop. I owe him a great deal of gratitude for all the gloves. I mean, I've never had 8 pairs of gloves at once anyhow. Well, I guess technically I've never needed a pair of gloves, but I've never had 8 gloves at once. So I'm super stoked. I'm going to use them in Angelfire. There's a couple that have some nice padding on the knuckles. I think they're mostly Specialized, which must be one of their shop brands, but super stoked. Thank you so much. All right, so let me catch up on chat here. Yes, Chris, that's the link, the podium wear link. So if anyone wants to order those jerseys, it'll be awesome. Okay, Paul, so you asked where the logo came from. So anytime you drive around here, you always see armadillos as roadkill on the side of the road. Armadillos are everywhere. I also crash a lot, about every other ride. So I thought it would be funny to have a logo that was an armadillo kind of rolled up with the words tuck and roll. And the outside of the armadillo would be like a tire. So anyway, that's where my logo comes from. It's kind of like an ode to Texas. Oh, hey, what's up? Mr. Tonka's in here too. I need to mod him for sure. And I also need to mod Jessica Terry. She's one of my patrons. There we go. Who else? Am I missing any other people that need to be in mod army? Oh yeah, Crank It MTB. Been noticing your comments a lot lately. A fellow Texan. I think you're from San Antonio. Got a lot of great stuff here. What else? Channel news wise. Friday. So thanks for tuning in tonight. First of all, I am so busy preparing for this trip and doing some other things to get ready to leave my family for 4 days. So I wanted to make sure that I had a live stream to talk about preparing it. I also want to pick people's brains here in a little bit. So I might have some special guests. And Friday, I have my first 360 video coming out, and I'm very excited about it. It was the first time that I actually used it or had strapped it to myself, and I kind of played with it. So I got a couple little local trail downhill runs that I pieced together, talk about how I did it, some pros and cons about it, and so look forward to that. It's super fun. I'm really excited about the experience or the potential of a 360 experience. Where someone can watch my video and turn around and look at different spots. Like, that's cool. That has like I would rock, like Paul the Punter had one. He's the only other person that I've seen one that has like one where you can actually look around. That's a trail video. And I seriously watched it like 3 times just because I wanted to see, you know, how steep it was by looking behind. I wanted to see, you know, what was on the sides. I looked down sometimes, looked forward. It's just a different experience. It's completely immersive compared to a traditional video. So anyway, that's what I'm working on for Friday. And then we'll see. Tuesday, maybe the Angelfire videos will start. So Mr. Tonka, yes, Angelfire. That's where I'm going. And let's crank it up. What's my favorite place to ride in Texas? That depends on the time of year. My 2 favorite places to ride are Camp Eagle and Reveille Peak. Both have various forms of terrain. Both have enduros, which I love, and enduro courses that I love to ride. RPR is out in the open. So right now, I just rode it the other week with Trail Features and Mountain Bike Geek, and it was hot as balls. I was sweating. I got bit by fire ants. It gets kind of miserable in the summertime unless you're like done pretty early on. So those are my two favorite places to ride around here for sure. Chris, I agree with you. It's too bad that you can't make part 360 and part 16.9, because I would love nothing more than to be able to say, hey guys, this is what I want you to look at for part of the video, and kind of direct their attention, and then have like a portion of a video where it'd be like, hey, look wherever you want to, check it out, rewind it, rewatch it, whatever. But I think, yeah, it's kind of weird. Like when you do an intro or an outro for a 360 video, maybe there's something I'm missing, you know, let me know in the comments of that video. There isn't a really good way for me to say, hey, I want you to be focused on here and not to deviate from this focal point during this time. So, you know, 360 technology is still evolving, VR, whatever you want to call it. We'll see what happens from there. Peter, actually, yeah, this is they had a new record last year. I always forget that I listen to heavy music, and I often have band shirts on. Yeah, they had a record last year that I got. I used to love them in the early 2000s. Saw them play a couple times. I never had a purple, or people that don't know who 18 Visions are aren't going to care, but they were this like metal core-ish band from the late 90s, early 2000s. So. All right, let's see. Let me catch up. Bike parks are lame. Shaved legs. Maxi for life. Dude, Josh, welcome to the stream. I wonder if your ears were burning the other day, because I was just talking about you and your enduro race the other day. I watched your both, and everyone that's in here that hasn't seen Daily Mountain Bike Riders enduro race videos, go watch. It is insanely beautiful there, but he still was able to capture the fact that enduro races can be a total slog. Like, they're really taxing physically. But seriously, I need to make it to Bellingham or the Pacific Northwest because it looks absolutely beautiful. Also, he had a bike park video. And actually, everybody that went to Wistmas, that's Whistler's opening weekend, Merry Wistmas. I know Paul went. I know Josh went. I know a bunch of other people. I think maybe not Loam Ranger. I know BCPOV. All those guys went and did opening weekend videos, and they're all awesome. So you should definitely check them out. But you know, Josh, we always just talk like outside of our videos, and every time I watch your video where you're like jumping, it just blows my mind. But I'm gonna get you. Is there any other way? I'm gonna get you in here. What's up, Josh Saunders? You picked the wrong weekend to go to Angelfire, because I think I'm gonna be there the weekend before you. Josh hid my wife's message. I'm not sure what it said. Love your channel. Thanks, Mountain Bike Advice. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so I have other stuff. So I want to go over like things that I should put, or things that I'm going to put in my bag, and see if anyone has any ideas. As soon as I go through all the stuff that I'm starting to pack, I will get some people on here. So Paul and Josh, hopefully you guys are still there. I'd love to get you on. All right, so let me get out my handy grocery bag. First thing I have in here that I'm packing away. Josh, don't feel bad. I'm sure she was trolling me somewhat. So I have this bag that has all of my charging stuff in. It has chargers for, I don't know if you can see it. It has chargers for my gimbal batteries. It has 2 different GoPro batteries. It has a USB port on the one side. Basically for all the things. I can plug this thing overnight, next morning be ready to go, dump my footage. So it's great. It's great on trips. So I definitely take this every time I go. Pelican case. This thing's pretty full right now with SD cards and micro SD cards. Oh, did my kid just smash on the keyboard? I'm sure he did. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this at Angelfire, but always keep a tripod. I have a few of these. I get these cheap ones that the legs can break off if you bend them a bunch. but whatever. It's cheap, and the GorillaPod ones can be pretty pricey. I got this. Holy crap, it's dusty. Shows you how often I use it. So I have this, I forget what it's called, a frame for a GoPro. I use it sometimes, not often enough, clearly, but I'm going to take it just in case. Let's see. GoPro, of course. Got the Stuntman Evo combo for the camera. I got the hip strap with the 360. I got the tripod, a telescoping tripod for the 360. Bike stuff. I've got chain lube, tire sealant, 1 tube. I'm going to get more. I need to get more before I go. I've got my good old pump. I'm going to take a floor pump. It's over there somewhere. I've got my existing gloves. I've got this. I don't know if I think I talked about it in videos, but I've never shown it. It's called a Halo sweatband. I guess it's like this. So this is just a sweatband that you put on. Check it out. It's got rubber on the back. It's a gutter for your forehead, basically. You don't get sweat in your eyes. It's awesome. I have these on my influencer store. It's amazon.com/shop/no-front-brakes. Check it out. I got a bunch of other stuff that I think is highly useful and I will buy. So I'm sure Eric's friends will do some crazy trails. So I'll probably skip those. Yes. Wait, Chris, are you going to be there this weekend? Confirm or deny? Because that would be awesome if you were there the same weekend. So what I plan on doing, actually, he's right. The guys that I'm going with, I think almost all of them are like insanely good riders. And I'm not. So I'm just going to go at my own pace. I'm going to try to progress. Eventually, I'll start chasing some people. I'm going to probably make some friends. You're leaving Thursday. Also, dude, you'll have to find me. We'll have to text each other and go hang out. Who else is here? Oh, Ryan's in here. Yep, I am going to get my teeth rattled out at, what does it say? At Park. Oh, A? A? Yeah, I am. Still early on in the season, so we'll see how bad the brake bumps are. I think they get worse later in the season, or is it how often they groom them? Anyway, I'll get some of you guys in here then. So, Chris, I'll definitely ride down with you. And I have no problem if I need to wait or if I need to go speed up for you. So I'm stoked. Now I have someone to ride with. Oh, yeah. Also got the prosthetic. I need to pack up another one of these arm condoms in case this one ends up tearing. You can't get them anywhere, obviously, and they're super expensive. So I'm just going to take the ones that I have. And I need to take some socks in case me rattling down the hill is going to give me any blisters or anything like that. I have like a compression sock that I put under there. So that should help. Maximum bumps after day 1 usually. Okay, that's good to know. Breaking bumps rattle my teeth out was still awesome. Cool. Ryan, I'd love to get you on here in a little bit. I think, Mr. Tonka, you've been to a bike park as well. So I'd love to... Wait, since you're bringing sealant, I'm assuming you're bringing, I think you mean your bike. I am bringing my bike. So the one thing that I thought about doing is renting a bike, but I decided to just bring my trail bike. My setup is obviously very special, and to be honest, I feel kind of guilty calling up a bike shop that rents out downhill bikes and being like, hey, can you make this change and this change and this change and this change for me? I'd much rather go on a bike that I feel comfortable with. I think my bike, which is 135, 140, will be plenty squishy enough for me. My main goal for these 4 days is not to come out. You know, I'm not planning on leaving Angelfire and being a downhill pro. All I want to do is just go, progress, get used to speed, get used to flowy stuff because it's very chunky here. And that's my goal. And to have fun and to film stuff to show you guys. So good to know, Ryan, that my bike will be just fine. Ooh, Mr. Tonka, you've never been to a bike park? We should connect and plan another trip. All right, so back to the other stuff. I've got I got a Torx wrench set that I'm gonna bring. I've got just the hex wrench. Got some CO2, some bacon strips. I'm gonna bring spare tires that, you know, I think a lot of mine have are patched or tubed or both, and I'm gonna bring a couple just in case. One thing that I'm gonna start doing, I've been swearing by the Magic Marys, but I keep going through them. They are soft, they're super grippy, but I just beat my bike up and I always get tears in, and especially with the Cush core, it's gonna suck if I get a tear in that thing and I have to take everything apart. It's gonna be a pain in the balls. So I'm considering going back to Maxxis and doing DHFs or DHR2s, just because I mean, that's what always the balance, right? You either have a tire that's soft and super grippy, or you have a tire that's super sturdy. I don't think you can have both that I know of. All right, Chris, you're gonna ride on your own? 130 travel with crappy tires, so if it's not working, I'll just rent one. Oh, you're gonna ride your own bike? I thought you were saying. I was about to get real sad. All right, so you're driving? Yes, I am driving there, Jessica, with a couple other guys from this area, and it will be a crappy drive. We're leaving on Thursday morning at, I think, between 4 and 6. Chris, we are not stopping at Palo Duro, even though it is on the way. But one evening on the trip, we are going to do the, what's it called? South Boundary Trail? Yeah, I think it's called South Boundary Trail. It's supposedly like 16 and 19 miles of downhill after like a 500-foot climb. So I'm super stoked about that. I think you have to be a shuttlecock to ride it though, which sucks. I know that some people are against shuttling. I personally, if that's the way you ride the trail, I'm cool with not riding up a windy highway to get to something. I'm okay with shuttling. Yeah, Ryan, I'm fully expecting for the park to be really hard on my bike. My bike actually, you know, I'm always wait for things to pile up and then I go and fix it. So I actually am a little nervous that I've already been neglectful of my bike, that I'm going to go in and it's gonna be bad. But I've heard the shop there has like super talented mechanics, and I've heard that they're like really reasonable. So I think I'll be fine. I'm just going to get there with my bike and ride it, and we'll figure stuff out as we go. Yo, what's up, Bobo? I need to mod you, dude. Yeah, Bobo's been to a park too. I need to see if I can get. I'd love to have all you guys that have been to parks on here. So what I'll do is I'll shoot you guys links, and if you're interested, you can hop on. Last thing, knee pads. I got Race Face Digs, the Cali Strikes, which I'm really interested to try out because I've heard that they feel pretty natural. These, sometimes the Velcro scrapes the back of my leg, but they have shells in, and so far they've really protected my knees, and I've wrecked a few times on them. Also some tire levers. I'm gonna take a torque wrench, shock pump. Oh, geez, I almost forgot about that. And probably some other stuff off my wall. So now I'm gonna get some of you guys in here. What's up, Joseph? Welcome. I wish you were coming with me to New Mexico instead of moving this weekend. Super sad, but exciting for you as well. All right, 1 second, guys. Let me get some of these guys, the special guests, this link. Right, people. All right, YouTube guys, I got it in coordinate and collab. So if you guys want to hop on, it would be sweet. and we'll talk about it. Yeah, Joseph could just stop by here. Under $5 for a standard downhill bike is kind of expensive, so I'll avoid it if at all possible. Also, didn't plan for it to save anything for this trip, so I'm going there for bare bones price-wise. Honestly, I've heard that. I mean, everyone says that my bike will be fine, my trail bike will be fine. I think you have the Trek Fuel X, if I remember correctly. I think that you'll be fine, Chris. I've never been to a downhill park, so disclaimer, but from what everyone tells me about my high tower, if my bike is fine, I think yours will as well. All right, let's 7 miles of Flagstaff. No way, that sounds miserable. 7 miles of climbing to go a half mile downhill, 2 more up to go another half mile down. I don't understand how that works. Don't you eventually have to go downhill? Huh. So yeah, I'm super excited about this trip. I could not, you know, the last trip I'd been on was in December, and that's when I went and met Bobo. I think Seth had some family in town, so we couldn't connect. And I think at that time, Alex was also house sitting for Hannah and Havana. So I couldn't hook up with him either. But I hooked up with Bobo. You know what I mean? It was a great time. We had fun. We rode Katsuma, and he shredded it on Prometheus. So hopefully I'll get a chance to ride with him on his new bike, on his hippie bike. Oh, dude, Chris, tell me about it, man. It's been like high 90s, low 100s here lately. It's been super hot. So I am stoked for the temperatures there. I'm stoked. What did you say it'll be? I missed it. I saw the temperatures listed somewhere. Where is it? Anyway, I think it's going to be, yeah, 30-degree drop for us. All right, that sounds good. I'm stoked for that. I'll take 60s, 70s. That'll be amazing. I was just watching Brian, catching up on Brian's UK trip today, and I was impressed that, you know, he said it's really funny that your body gets used to what the temperatures that you're in. So when he was there, everyone was saying how hot it was, and it was like 70 degrees. You know, when Mountain Bike Geek came here, John came here and rode with Joseph and I, he was talking about like how it really wasn't that hot, but it was like, we would stop riding, it would be 90 degrees. It was super hot. Like, I didn't bunk out, but I was like I would get super dehydrated and get headaches those nights just because, you know, I was sweating so much during the day. Friday, 74 for a high. Saturday, 70 for a... Dude, that is perfect. That's going to be so good. So, yeah. Bobo, if you want to check, coordinate, and collab, check our little Slack thing, hop in here, talk to me about bike parks, or whoever else. Josh, if you're still in here, Ryan, if you're still in here, one of you bike parks. I think basically any Canadian could also join. Pretty sure. Oh, there's Ryan.
Hey man, how's it going?
Bud? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sweet. So I don't have very long. And I wasn't planning on being on a live stream tonight, but you're talking about bike parks, so I figured I had to swing by.
You've been to quite a few, I'd imagine.
I've been to a lot of bike parks. Yeah, I'm pretty lucky to have a good half dozen super gnarly and awesome and flowy bike parks within like, I don't know, a few hours anyways. So yeah, lots.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what advice would you have for a first-time bike park attendee?
I would say, so there's some things that you should expect. You should expect to look like an arse the first time you try and load your bike, for sure. Everybody, doesn't matter who it is, what park it is, you will look like an idiot the first time you load your bike. Let's see. You're probably... Well, it depends on the park. It really depends on the park, but you're probably going to end up getting a flat at some point if you're riding all day. Like, the cool thing is about a bike park is that it's all about progression. Like, there's no better way to like just zoom up as far as like skills wise as a rider than to go to a bike park for jumps, for tech, for flow, like just for everything. Like you just fly down to the bottom and then you just sit around for a couple minutes and you're back at the top again. It's nuts. It's like otherworldly. So it's when you're doing that, you know, if you decide to, okay, I'm going to hit this trail to nail this part like as good as I can get it, you're going to end up going faster than you usually do, and you're just going to like be like hitting everything so much harder, so which is awesome, and that's what you should be doing. But yeah, it's tough on bikes for sure. Like bikes are our piddly trail bikes are not used to just being like hammered down a mountain over and over again.
Do you find that like, well, at least for early on in your bike park experiences, do you find that you go from like riding more or less like maybe some cross country enduro style to all of a sudden you're riding, you're like, if you're giving on a normal trail like 90%, like you're now flirting dangerously close to the edge of I'm almost out of control? And does that feeling like start to go away, or is it something you just get used to?
Well, I mean, like the thing is, so like I actually like a little bit of pedaling before I get to a downhill, like not a ton, but you know, just like warm up, start the brain up, you know, get everything rolling. But at a bike park, especially first or second run of the day, it's just like zip, and then it's just down. Like you haven't done anything yet. You've like sipped on a coffee and all of a sudden you're like flying down a hill. So even if you're feeling good, like when I go to like Whistler or something like that, I always hit crank it up first. Even though I overshoot the jumps, like I'm usually going too fast for that trail, that's the trail that I always hit first, because I know I have to wake my brain up before I do anything. So, and that's kind of the way you should do it. You should progress when you're at the park. And you're pretty good at that. Like you got a level head on your shoulders. You're not just gonna like fly into the double black all of a sudden. So yeah, it's really just kind of about like, and the best part about bike parks is that you can take little step by little step. It's not like I just pedaled for the last 3 hours and I'm like dead tired, and now this, like there's pretty much just like one trail you can go down. That's a typical big pedal day for like regular mountain biking. But now it's like, well, I'll hit this trail, and then next time I can hit that same trail again, like 15, 20 minutes later, just a little bit faster. And then you'll go to the next trail after that. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's just like you're being thrown into like madness unless you choose to do that. It's, yeah, it's just really fun to be able to like take incremental steps, I think.
Well, I was going to say too, it's not like a normal ride for us where like you have to pin it going down like downhill because you get one chance, right?
Yeah.
Like you can have as many chances as you want to do it, provided your like arms and legs can keep up with it. So
yeah, exactly. Oh, and that's a good tip right there. You'll learn real fast at a downhill park whether you're sort of like the way you balance yourself on the bike is too far forward or too far back. Downhill parks will expose that real fast. So if you generally have weight too far forward, your hands are just gonna like get destroyed really quickly. Or if you're too far back, you know, your lower back is gonna be killed. Like you really kind of fine tune where you sit on the bike pretty fast at bike parks, which is awesome. But also can be a little painful. Yeah, like just straight up downhill all day, it is a lot of work. Like it's, you know, you would think, oh, you're just like cruising downhill, or you know how it is going downhill. It's not always a piece of cake, but man, I just love it so much. It's so much fun. Hey, who's this guy?
It's the bike park noob jumping into the chat.
Yeah. So with this, so like I just saw you, I was just watching your stuff from Whistler and your first time hitting A-line, and you terrify me, man. You absolutely terrify me. Hey, because here you're going and hitting A-line, and for those who don't know, A-line, you're going really fast, like crazy fast. And yet Josh, you're like, oh, whoa, I overshot that one. Oh, darn, I'm going way too fast. Like, I don't understand how you possibly overshoot jumps on A-line. So I will never hit A-line with you.
What? Eric, you don't know this, but I'm actually going to be riding with Ryan and Whistler very soon.
Next week.
So you have to ride A-line with me to see if it's true that I overshoot those.
Yeah. All right, maybe I'll have to do that. But honestly, yeah, like that's the thing. Like Eric, trails like A-Line, they're scary for me. Like it's the jumps are one thing, but it's the speed into the jumps.
Yeah.
And as you're going up the lip, everything in my body is saying, "Don't do this."
Yeah.
And yet you're doing it.
How hard is it not to brake check?
Oh,
Impossible.
Yeah,
Impossible.
hard. Yeah, for sure. Because your body has like a freak out moment. It's just like, yeah, just as you get to the lip, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you hear those tires compress into the little transition. Yeah, it's awesome and freaky and awesome.
What's up, Bobo?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm stoked for your first park, Maine. You're going to have a great time. It's going to be something fresh for you. I remember going to Bailey Mountain Bike Park for the first time, and just the steep terrain was like, I was like, this is really it? That could be surprising and a little overwhelming when you first get there. But I assure you, the first run and the last run of the day are going to be vastly different. So expect to notice that in your day experience. That's why I'm excited for you, because when I was done with Bailey Mountain Bike Park, I had a completely new perspective of how intense mountain biking actually could be. And I thought I knew what the rule of GoPro was until I went to a bike park. Then I really knew.
Yeah, but Windrock was the next level, right?
Well, you know, a lot of people had that review, and yes and no. Honestly, I think personally I might be accosted by this, but I think Bailey and Windrock are very evenly matched in terms of gnarly, steep terrain. I just think there's a little bit more of it at Windrock, and I guess the trail builders are just this much more sadistic. So yeah. So I guess yes, Windrock is a little more gnarly, but both a lot of fun. You're gonna have a good time.
Awesome. So Josh, was that Whistler? Was that your first bike park at Whistler?
Yeah, I have never been to any like bike access or like shuttling outside of that. I mean, I shuttled once, but it's at a place I normally just bike up. So it was my first experience. I'll ask you, Eric, have you ever been like skiing or snowboarding or on like a chairlift at all?
Yeah, snowboarding. There's a couple places in PA that I would go to, and when I lived there, and also I went to some place in New Hampshire called like Duck, I think it's called. And also my grandparents live in Denver, in Aurora, so I've been to like Winter Park and Loveland, and I don't know if I've been to Breckenridge, some places like that. I think Copper Mountain possibly. I don't know, but that was when I was a kid and I would ski. And then when I got older, I would hit a couple places in PA, which are relatively small, and then in New Hampshire.
Yeah, the reason I asked is because I think the thing, like my first experience, I realized is I went to Whistler thinking even the blue runs were going to be like over your head, but bike parks do a really good job to make sure there's terrain for everybody. So you were saying like you're hoping your bike has enough travel. You have everything you need for the trails you'll be comfortable on. Mm-hmm. I had everything I needed for the trails I'll be comfortable on. And you'll reach a point where you'll find a trail that maybe is too gnarly or the jumps are too big. And almost every feature has a ride around, except for I think Windrock. Bobo has like butt puckering, crazy, you're just going to die sections. But
I know, but they're so much fun.
I know.
Why? What's wrong with us as mountain bikers? That's what we need in our lives nowadays. Like, well, I don't know if I was that close to death. Like, can you bring me something a little steeper, something scary?
Were you there last weekend with Seth and during his what is it called, horse face?
No, I was at Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Partying my ass off. So back to the real world.
Yeah, I remember. I saw your Instagram stories.
Oh, cool, man. Yeah, no, I wanted to make that trip. That would have been a fun trip. But nope, didn't make it.
So that's Instagram story when he broke his Rilo looks absolutely terrifying. I don't know if you guys caught that.
No.
Yeah, it just looks like Seth is like, whoa, this is steep, and you see the guy in front of him like full braking and yet still going full speed, and then Seth wipes out, breaks his Rilo, and then Alex flies in behind him, skidding like on the side of his bike, sliding down the mountain, and that's when you know, All right. I don't think I could handle that very well, or I'd be with him probably.
You would be fine. You would be fine.
The
No,
second
about
I
bike
realized
riding.
how steep it was when he laid his bike down, was able to turn his body so that he was like face down, facing uphill, and wouldn't stop sliding down. Right next to the-
That sounds like horse face. That must have been horse face.
Yeah. Did you ride Horseface, Bobo, when you were there?
No, I think Seth is saving that for his personal channel, or so he can have that viral video. He's like, oh, dude, I can't wait to get you all dicked on horse face. I'm like, no, man, why are you trying to hurt me all the time?
So what?
So many times Seth is. You don't necessarily follow him when he asks you to.
Yeah,
It
noted.
could be horse face.
So what? Oh, hey, John.
How are you?
What's up? So which bike park was it again, Eric?
Angelfire in
That's the one you're going to?
Yep.
Okay, sweet. And have you looked at like videos of the trails and stuff, or are you just going in blind?
Yep. And like, there's like a local free ride group that I belong to where we get like lift deals too. So I know bunch of guys that I'm going with are in that. So
Cool.
it'll be fun.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So you feel like you like found a couple of trails that you definitely want to hit like first?
Yeah, I'm gonna start out with the fairly simple. I'm gonna start out with green. Screw it. Like, I want to be able to work my way up, right? Like, I want to be able to start with something, get used to more than anything, just moving fast on a bike and adjusting my position around big berms, not like berms that we're used to here, but like big toilet bowls, right?
Yeah.
Like Jaws.
Before all of a sudden I'm like, oh, here's which I don't even think I'll get here, but like if there's like a 30-foot table, like you don't just get off a lift the first time and just go hit a huge table. Like,
Unless you're Josh.
Yeah, unless
Well, yeah.
Josh,
Hey,
how
I'm
many
from
have you been
Belgium.
riding?
It's different here. It's
Having
different.
said that, I could see Bobo doing that.
Well, not on purpose.
Accidentally, but
You know,
yeah.
it depends on if I've been to the bar at that point or not, which probably have been to the bar at that point. If it's early in the day.
Naked, holding a guitar on a bike.
So we can only hope. That would be pretty epic. You just gave me an idea for my next video. Thank you.
Oh man.
Well, I remember seeing one of your bike park videos early on, and you were at a place where you were like, there was a bar at the top of the mountain.
Yeah, beach. That's the first park that I went to, Ski Beach in Boone. And I remember coming up from Florida with my buddy, and it was fucking cold. Sorry, that's my channel. I normally drop a lot of F-bombs. It was really cold outside, and we were Floridians still, and that just made it so much more intense. So hopefully you have good weather. But when we got down to the bottom, my buddy looked at me, and he's like, "Do you want to do that again?" I'm like, "Yeah, hell yeah, I want to do it again." So I mean, don't judge anything off your first run. Everybody gets so much better throughout the day. It's just amazing. You just get used to it. And what's funny is when you come back to your normal trails, it's not going to be enough speed. You're going to be
so much
like
faster. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I was pedal timid at first, dropping in on like Kitsuma or something. And then it was just a matter of like, you get used to that park speed, and then like your regular trails just aren't cutting it.
Yeah, you will set some PRs when you get home. Like for sure, man. Yeah. Is
it just that you get so used to riding at speed that you get home and you just forget to put
the brakes on? Yeah.
Well, one, your body is now like kind of used to what you need to do at faster speeds.
Yeah.
But two, it's like the guys who ride moto. I wish I did, because all those guys are so used to speed and used to like massive air. They get on a downhill bike and they're like, oh, little toy, you know, I'll go mock chicken down the mountain and do 60-foot gaps and I don't care. So it's sort of the same thing where you just get used to that faster speeds, and you get home and you're just like, wow, I'm pretty rad now.
Yeah.
Or at least you think you're pretty rad.
Yeah, exactly. In your own head anyways.
Yeah.
And on Strava.
Well, John, we took John to Reveille Peak. There's a trail called Flow Trail, and it has a bunch of tables. Like I'm like envisioning, I'm gonna get back after riding at Angelfire and go and hit those trails again and be like, oh, well, I just whipped over a table, or I just cleared a table to flat without even trying. So
But that's the thing, Eric, is like when you tried to follow me down, I didn't think I was that quick. I didn't think that like I was actually a really quick rider. You tried to follow me down and you said, like, I just left you for dead.
Yeah.
I was like, huh? What?
Yeah, because I was breaking into like turns and stuff and you were just leaving it open. And so like I'd come around a turn and you'd be at this part. Then I'd keep pace with you and then we'd go around the next turn and then when I'd get around you'd be that much farther. So
by the way, the arm motion, that's nothing sus. I'm cleaning my glasses.
Oh.
Sure.
All right, I will be right back in like 2 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Eric, I got a tip for you that helped me out a ton. Is do your research. I don't know if there's a ton of videos out there. There is for Whistler, and so I watched a ton of videos, and I heard what people were saying about the trails, and then that way I knew where to start, and I knew where I wanted to go next. You know.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Not to mention, like, one of the things that never even occurred to me until I went to Bailey was like, oh yeah, all these people get dropped off at the top at once, and then we all just go. But there's a pecking order. How is that going to get sorted out? My worst nightmare quickly became, I don't want a guy like Josh behind me. You know, I don't want somebody hauling ass behind me expecting to be able to crush that giant gap. Anyways, that made me nervous, but don't worry about that. That gets sorted out super quick because if the fast guys are up there, they just drop. They don't look at you. They just drop in on the trail, and you wait. And you're like, okay, now I'm alone. Now it's time to go. That's
one thing that I'm worried about too from racing enduros. So like I've done like 5 enduros now, and I've never been passed. But I assume that I'm definitely going to get passed like a billion times. No. So what's the etiquette for that? Like,
you don't get passed at the bike. I've never been passed at the bike park. I've never been close to being passed at the bike park.
Eric,
so don't worry about it.
You'll know when you're dropping, like Bobo kind of said it, like you'll know your pecking order. And if for some reason, like I went on runs and people were a little bit slower that were in front of me, but it's dangerous. Like there's not a ton of places to pass safely. And so you just go down and you'll get tired after a while and pull over. And if somebody wants to pass you, they'll either start before you do next time or just keep going.
Okay. So do I need to be like, if I'm at the top, do I need to give someone an audible, be like, what's up? I'm slow. Like,
well, usually when I'm at the top, someone says that to me. They're like, you go. I'm like, are you sure? You know, and you figure it out, you know. Oftentimes you end up riding with that guy throughout the day, you know, and like that's your new bud.
Well, I haven't done actual proper bike park, but doing enduros, I have gone up against the likes of like Chris Kavaric, Jared Graves, Richie Rude. They're behind me. I can hear them coming. Pull over.
Yeah.
Find a nice little flat spot. Pull over. Let them pass. It's that easy.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about. I'm not gonna. I mean, obviously, it's not a race for one, but also I'm not gonna feel bad about doing that. I just want to make sure that I'm able to do it safely.
Yeah.
So.
The other tip is possibly find someone that's like able to keep up to your tail, but you have to push just that little bit more to keep up to them, because then if you get behind in them and you're towing in, then you might be able to do stuff a bit better.
Is it better to find someone that I'm slightly faster than, or someone that's slightly faster than me, than just because I can get towed in and try to push myself?
I would say find someone that's slightly faster than you, because then you can find out that, okay, well, I can do these kind of berms and corners and things a bit faster. Like I don't need to brake, or I can brake a bit sooner and then take the corner and pedal out on the other end. And
seeing is believing. Every time I'm following my buddy Nate down a trail is when I do the biggest and dumbest shit. So I mean, but
watching your videos, Bobo, you being towed in by Nate is some of the funniest things. Because you're like, I'm not going to hit. Oh crap! I just followed his line.
Too late. Yeah, and that happens. I mean, you do get courage by seeing somebody else kill it in front of you, and it's kind of like, oh, I can. If they can do it, I can do it. What one person can do, so can I. It's true. Even
that jump that's like down towards the bottom of Katsuma, where it goes down that little dip and then boosts you up onto that hip.
Yep.
Like we were talking about doing it, and Nate, I think either Nate or what was the other guy's name?
Landy.
One of those two like led the train, and everybody just ended up hitting it. And it was kind of sketchy. It was loose in that little like dip, that little G out.
A little sketch.
Jump MTB in the chat. They actually had a good point there. Check out Sid and Mackie's channel. Sid raced Angelfire last weekend.
Yeah.
With great footage. So
there was an enduro race last weekend. I do need to check that out.
Yeah.
Josh, are you doing any more enduros anytime soon, buddy? Because that was awesome.
I'm like dying to do another one, but it's my schedule that's the issue. But I tell people after my second stage of that enduro, I wanted to quit life, and then at the end of it, I couldn't wait to do another one. So yes, I'll be doing another one soon. And man, the biggest thing is everybody who watched it was like, dude, you're so negative. Why are you so negative? I'm like, do you guys know me? Like, I'm like the most like happy, upbeat person, but everything's a joke to me. So I'm like, oh, I suck. Oh, they suck. But you can't smiling. So yes, I'll do it again, and I'll be like, hey, all you negative haters, I'm gonna be positive, Josh. I'm so good. I did so well. That fall saved me like 10 seconds. It's gonna be great.
That's awesome.
You know, like from earlier in the season down here when I raced those enduros, like I know that how your personality is, and I knew that when you were being really hard on yourself during the stages, I was like, that's the race talking. It's not Josh.
Yeah. It's messed up, man. It's like a different mind. And Eric, I will say, like, just like enduro, like your attitude like determines how your race goes. Like for a downhill park, like just be calm and collected, like truly believe like I'm gonna have a great time and I'm gonna do well and you'll have a good time. I went into Whistler with Eric from BCPOV, and I was like, you know what? I know Eric's riding style. I can follow him on anything, and even if it's hairy, scary, I'll do great and I'll have a ton of fun. And it made my day 10 times better. Like just having that attitude.
Yeah.
Yep. Bike parks are like 100% designed just to have fun at. So go into it like that, and then it shall be fun. And even for Josh, I mean, like you had some stuff. If you were kind of had like a cruddy attitude when you like went and bent your wheel and crashed and stuff, that could like spiral you right out. But if you have a good attitude in general, it's like, oh wow, that was such an awesome gnarly crash. Did you catch it on camera? Okay, that's all that counts. Now I'll go fix my wheel. And then you just keep riding, right? Like, yeah, bike parks are just a blast for sure, especially if you're in the right headspace for it.
I want to go right now. All this talking about it is really getting me jonesed up for some good old park. Like, man. Ooh.
Yeah. Whistler on Monday.
Oh, you bastard.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Bobo, you're full time now. You can fly over, man.
I mean, yeah, because I'm breaking in those YouTube Benjamins with my 17,000 subscribers. But let's go to France while we're at it. You guys want in? I'm flying you. Private jet. No, my sister actually lives not too far from Whistler, so I actually will be going to Whistler pretty soon.
Really? What's pretty soon? What does that mean? I
haven't figured out the logistics yet. You know, I got all this unemployment to deal with, so losing your job is a tough schedule. Or walking away from your job is a tough schedule. But probably in the next 3 months.
Don't forget not just Whistler. As for Ryan's latest video, the Sunshine Coast as well.
Yeah, Coast Gravity Park is sweet. Josh, if you ever if you've seen my video of it, if you paid attention to the berms, like they're 100% perfectly crafted. Like there's not even like a tire mark through them somehow. Like it's like concrete. It was crazy. It's quite the experience going to Coast Gravity. It's like no other park I've ever been to before. Like super manicured.
People in Bellingham talk about Coast, I think, more than Whistler. And it's because they say like Coast is what you dream Whistler is like, but then you get to Whistler and it's way too ridden. And so Coast looks great.
Yeah, for sure. And they've got some massive jump trails at Coast Gravity, which you would have a blast on for sure, like flight deck and things, like just monster jumps that I didn't hit. Yeah, I worked my way up to the single black jump trails there, and then that's as far as I got.
Ryan, Coast looked really like soft and tacky. Is that it? Like it didn't look like there was any dust anywhere. Is that
Coast Gravity Park and Seashell and like that whole area is literally built on what you would get trucked in to make BMX parks. Like that's where the world's BMX park dirt literally comes from. And so you go there and it's the most perfectly gripped, perfectly shapeable dirt / sand. Like I'll say sand, but it's not like sand, you know what I mean? It's just crazy stuff. I've never seen anything like it before. You can't get a bike park like that anywhere else, basically, because it'd be too expensive to ship all that dirt to do a whole bike park out of it. But it was just like built from it. So yeah, it's pretty unique.
I definitely need to figure out some sort of Pacific Northwest trip, especially now. I don't know if you guys were on earlier. This company in Bend, Hutch's Bicycles, one of their employees doesn't have a left hand, but he has a right hand. So he sent me a bunch of swag from their shop and a crap ton of left-handed gloves.
Nice.
Also, I definitely need to go and visit that shop for sure and go and meet up with that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Wow.
Well, there's
besides Whistler, does anyone else have any like bike trips, like bike park trips planned this summer?
Yeah.
I have a trip planned to Tasmania in Australia to go to Medina, which is like apparently a cross between Whistler and Rotorua.
Yeah. I want to go there so badly. I was trying to make a trip out of going to Tasmania and it never got together. I was like begging like the Tasmanian Tourism Board. I'm like, look at my subscriber count, send me to there. And they're like, no.
Brian always talks about Tasmania, right? Brian always talks about Tasmania.
Yeah. Brian's been to Blue Derby, which is the reason why Tasmania government they don't really care about people coming, because the EWS went there last year, and they're being next year and forevermore from that point on. So they don't care. EWS goes there.
Yeah.
Why do they need riders to go and show it off?
Yeah, it looks crazy, and it's just so interesting to see like smaller locations like that with such insane riding. And you look at Madeira, like it's just this tiny, teensy little island, like way off in the middle of nowhere. Like here's like North Africa, and it's just like off in the ocean over there is this teensy little place with insane riding, and they have EWSs, and it's just madness. Like it's like Madeira and Tasmania. Those are the two places I want to get to for sure.
Are these all real places? Or are you guys just talking about some?
Apparently real, man. Like the internet says they're real. I don't know. I've never been there.
It sounds like a location from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah,
it kind of does, yes. But Tasmania is probably, if like you're all afraid of the Australian wildlife and everything, Tasmania is your place to go, because it's not actually part of the mainland. There's a decent stretch of sea between it and the mainland. So
filled with great white sharks.
Sorry?
Filled with great white sharks, right? In the ocean.
The sea, yes, but no, if you wanted to go to Tasmania to ride, you'd be better off actually getting in contact with like the guys that run Medina, rather than the Tasmania Tourist Board.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But as far as bike park trips, I'm going to there's this like series where like there's sort of like this group of places that's kind of been marketed together called the Dirt Epic 8, and it's like 8 different stops in BC, but not like West Coast BC. Everyone talks about West Coast BC, but there's so much riding like inwards. It's just crazy. And so I'm going to go to every single stop, all 8 stops, and I think half of them have bike parks. So I'm going to hit like all the bike parks this summer.
All of it. That's his plan. Do you have guys that have bike park plans?
All of them.
Ryan, his plans are all of them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Life goals.
Got to hit all of them. Well, not bike park wise, but I'm looking at hitting some of the lesser known trails in Florida this weekend.
Oh, cool.
I was up in Wichita Falls just today, actually, and they've got some really nice trails up there. But Palaguro is on my hit list next week.
Yeah. I'll be going right by it on the way to Angelfire, but I don't know. I'd rather just get there and get a good night's rest in for Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've got 2 weeks left here, Eric. So we need to get you to Abilene so we can ride together.
Oh man, yeah. I'll need to. Maybe we can meet somewhere in the middle, or meet in Waco or somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
What about you, Josh? You got any plans?
Yeah, I bought I bought like a 6-day bike park pass to Whistler, so I'll be going up there. Me and Ryan are hopefully going to connect next week. And there's a local place called Stevens Pass. It's like a local ski resort in Washington. I think it's the only bike park in Washington State. So I'll be going down there, and that's only like 2 hours away. It's just as a fun trip, It should be something fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about going to Bend? Going to like Mount Bachelor?
Livestream on No Front Brakes channel right now. Sorry, I gotta grab it.
Yes, I want to go to Bend super bad. I hear it's a little more pedally, but I hear it's a great place to ride. And so yeah, I am jonesing. If you go there, Eric, let me know. Date's pretty far ahead, and I would totally make a trip down. Oregon's great.
Sweet. Oh, my buddy Josh in the chat is gonna, whenever I make it up to Pacific Northwest, he's coming with me. And he's right, John, you should go to Dinosaur Valley. I don't know how far that is from you. I think it's like 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
that's
it's about
where
2.5 hours east.
was.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Hey, Eric, I'm going to sign off. I got to go, but I'll say bye to all you guys. And Eric, I can't wait to watch the footage.
Thanks,
and
man.
see you go off huge 60-foot tables day one.
Cinder Bud.
Yeah. I'm stoked. I'm stoked to go. Thanks for all your advice for sure, Josh.
Cool. See you guys. Good to see all you guys.
Later, dude.
Yeah.
Man.
Thanks, man.
I got park plans. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, Bobo.
I'm here. I'm here too. It's not like fucking Ryan's plans. Whoa. That thing says bad words. I'm going to, there are actually 2 parks that are going to be open for lift access this year in Boone. And Sugar Mountain hasn't opened their bike park up for years. And they built a whole new course. In fact, the only people that have ridden it are the trail builders. So June 30th, there's going to be a brand new park just 2 hours from me. So I'm going to go hit up Sugar.
Is that in Virginia?
No, that's Boone, North Carolina, right next to Ski Beach and Rocky Knob. Did we just get somebody else in the chat? Who is that guy? I know that guy.
I know that guy.
It's the guy that's leaving Texas. How's it going, guys?
I bet you
Technically, so am I in 2 weeks.
That's true. I'm actually getting out of here before John.
Yeah.
I'm out of here Saturday. Yeah, Saturday heading up to Colorado, which I'll actually be able to maybe hit some of the bike parks in Colorado. So I've been watching this with fascination because I also have no idea what I'm doing.
Have you never been to a park before?
No, there's one down the street here in Austin, but I just never got around to it. It's next to the Chick-fil-A, but it's always closed Sunday, so I never went.
Oh. So you're blaming. So that's how far our bitterness towards Chick-fil-A being closed on Sundays has come, that you're blaming your lack of experience at a bike park on Chick-fil-A now. I like it. Starting a campaign to get Chick-fil-A to open on Sundays. Is that not where this conversation is going?
Exactly. That is exactly what I've done with this conversation. And now there's that next to Bobo.
All I can say is at least they didn't change their name like IHOB.
IHOP. Or wait, IHOP, right?
IHOP changed their name?
Yeah, it's IHOB. International House. Yep. Temporary.
House of Burgers.
Yeah,
What?
temporarily.
Oh, I missed that.
I thought you were going somewhere different with that Chick-fil-A. I saw that Wendy's tweet, that savage Wendy's tweet against them, where Chick-fil-A said something, is there anything better than one of our sandwiches on a Saturday? And Wendy's tweeted, yeah, ours on a Sunday or something.
Ooh, snap. Oh, actually, I just thought of an actual tip going back to the bike park thing.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be going so much faster in general, it's all down. What GoPro do you use, Eric?
A 4.
4 black?
Yeah.
What do you have for a little wind muffler thing? Because that's what I noticed was when there's trail ride speed and that kind of like wind, and then there's like bike park wind, and my usual little wind filter wasn't good enough. Let's see.
Yeah. Yeah. That is true.
Talk for a minute, Eric.
Is that good enough?
Maybe, probably not. So what I was doing, hold on. Oh.
It's like I bet it looks like a full wig.
Yeah, so the hair on mine's looking pretty bad in general. But so this is good for trail use, right? But for bike parks, when you're going bike park speeds, I found I actually have this, and it's like it used to be an actual proper, it would just cover the entire GoPro. But I just like hacked away one half of it so it would fit over with the gimbal. So I take my little lens cover thing off and then put this on.
Is that like felt?
It's just like foam.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I've had this since the very beginning of my channel, so it's pretty haggard. And then, yeah, throw the little lens cap over top. And then I use like a hair tie that I stole from Beth. And then I just like strap it down so that it doesn't move. Like you got to get real wind conscious when you get to bike parks. I found anyways, especially for like A-line and stuff, like just with the regular wind filter, it's just crazy.
You know, on the topic of this, you know who I think has the best audio setup for bike parks?
Jordan
Boostmaster, because he has his, you know, gimbal, but then he has the helmet one. And then that's in the waterproof housing that comes with like the Shure $150 microphone, but it's like super high.
He's got a helmet one, but then he's got another one on his shoulder that has the Sennheiser microphone.
Yeah. Oh, it's Sennheiser. I was thinking Shure, which makes earbuds. Anyways, yeah. I remember the first time he used it because like he was really excited about it, and he was going down A-line and he got like towards the bottom where like there's that really long run in before the last jump.
The moon booter.
You just heard shh, and it was like the perfect acoustic like experience to really understand just how fast he is going on that, because it is exactly what your ears hear when you're going at Mach chicken.
Yeah.
Chicken.
Yeah, it does actually a really good job of, and like you want some wind noise too. You don't want it like totally silent because that's not how it is in real life. And you're right that like you need some of that whoosh sound to like show how fast you're going. But yeah, that's one thing that I found with audio anyways. You got to have a little extra going on.
The best I found for adding just a little bit of wind noise while still running the gimbal is, and this is going to go right up Trial Features alley right here because he's got the comeback already. Is the Garmin Verb.
Oh yeah, just right, hey.
Well, he normally comes back with sponsored, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. The Skeleton has an inbuilt mic filter, which I've added another one of those wind mufflers on. And on top of that, I've also got one stuck on the front of the camera as well. The microphone on the Ultra 30 is on the front. So no gimbal noise. It doesn't matter which gimbal you're using. And yeah, it adds in that little bit of wind noise that you need, but audio is perfectly clear. You still pick up all the trail noise, everything.
So I'm going to take multiple cameras, honestly, because I'm going to take the 360. But what I've learned from my video, you guys will see it Friday. And actually, I'd love feedback on it too. The housing for the Insta360 is worse than the GoPro housing. Like the sound out of it's really bad. And Joseph, you probably have noticed this. So I wish when I recorded that, I wish I would have had another camera going just so I could have matched up the audio. So I think what I'll probably run multiple cameras and just use audio from probably the Hero 4, I bet.
Yeah.
That's what my Hero 6 looks like in its case with the filter on. Yeah. But I've also got one stuck to the camera itself inside the case. Like on top there.
Oh yeah.
After I've done Joe's mod to it, where you get the little waterproof membrane out, the audio isn't, well, it's a lot better than what it is fully waterproof, but it's still not floor quality.
Why won't GoPro just go ahead and start making the Hero 4 again?
Just, yeah, honestly, just take the Hero 6 with its new processor, put it back into the Hero 4. Hey, Rocco. Hello, puppy. Did you come to say hi? Sorry, random dog. Hi. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, just take the Hero 6 with its new processor, put it in the Hero 4, tweak the audio processing on it. It would be absolutely insane how good the audio could be on a Hero 6 if they just didn't have the waterproof housing. But Eric, going back to your thing about the 360 cameras, that's kind of, we're in the awkward teen year phase of 360 cameras. We're like, the two companies that are doing it the best are Rilo and Insta360. And unfortunately, both of those guys just kind of took a social media camera and discovered that it was good for an action camera in between. Yeah. And so like the audio isn't good on either one. Rilo's been trying really hard to like update their firmware to get it to work around the fact that they put it in the worst possible spot. Insta360 put their microphone in a good spot, but like the mixing's really rough on it. It's like sensitive and muffled at the same time. And yeah, putting it in that case destroys it.
I did a bunch of stuff in post to my audio from the Insta. But I agree with you. Like, I can't wait to see what the next generation of 360 cameras does, just because, like, I mean, you're right. It's 360 cameras are like going through puberty right now. They're getting hair in strange places, and they can't figure out how to get their voice just right.
And all their tube socks are freshly ruined.
The one thing this is good for is to break up the monotonous handlebar view, you know, like the gimbals just pointed at the trail. And this thing is great. Just take the sound out.
I saw a really interesting camera angle that I'm going to try out on my next ride. And if it's successful, I hope you guys give it a go too. I'm stealing it from somewhere else anyways. I saw a guy, because everyone's eager to get that shot back at the rider. It's really difficult to get a good camera angle out there, you know, but I saw somebody
like get something like this.
Like,
hey, how's it going?
Yeah, otherwise you got like what maybe a 3-foot PVC pipe you could put out there. That shouldn't be dangerous. Let's mount like with a javelin on the front of our bike, you know, but I saw this guy, it was a Red Bull video or something. They put a GoPro on a clamp and they clamped it to the front fork, aiming straight up. And and it was so wide, you get the whole bike and the rider and everything. I just think that's an amazing looking view.
I've watched my last couple of videos. I've actually featured footage of the 360 camera on my bars attached to the stem.
And it works?
Yes, it works. I actually stopped on the trail in my last video and had a chat to a local who rides the San Angelo trails often. And I just like kind of tilted the view. I was still in it. He was over there, and we were just chatting away for a little bit and then go for another ride.
With I think I know what you're talking about, Bobo, because I remember watching this video where it was mounted, and it was mounted vertically on
straight up. Yeah, straight up the fork.
But then they like lay it down into these berms. So then it'd basically be horizontal, and it looks so cool. And they would just take those little slices out of it. Yeah, that looks awesome, man.
I'm gonna try it.
Yeah. Hey, and actually, good question for John. John, Garmin is sending me their 360 cam to try out at Whistler next week, because I have this very specific video that I want to do. How's the audio on that thing? Terrible, I'm assuming?
You will want to stick some mic mufflers on the mics.
Should I just sync it with my GoPro?
Yeah, you can do that as well.
It's a good backup. It's always good to have backup.
Without the mufflers on it, the audio is basically just all wind noise.
Okay. That's what I kind of figured, especially with like 4 mics. There's 4 mics on it, right?
Yeah, it has spatial audio.
You can do spatial audio, or you can specify, I think it's rear mic only. And yeah, it just slap a muffler on at least one of those, and you can grab some good audio out of it.
Yeah, I'm going to try and do the stupid thing and have a pole going out to like rate there and do the 360, because then it'd be like there's somebody in front you can watch doing jumps, there's somebody behind, but then you can also like see the rider too.
I saw this dude have something that was like on his helmet, and it was on this weird, awkward like swivel thing. So as he's riding, this thing is slowly moving and like capturing different angles. It was really weird, but somehow kind of cool.
Oh yeah. For sure. Those look awesome. You look like a complete idiot though when you're riding your bike.
It's like the equivalent to the dunce cap of the I don't know 50s with the little propeller on it or whatever. But it looks so awesome. It's so intriguing when you see those videos. You're just watching and you're like, it's nice, but you do get a little dizzy.
You know, I was thinking about that. One of the big selling points right now of the 360 cameras is everyone's like, oh, I don't need to have a gimbal. It's a gimbal killer, you know, because the whole gimbal dork thing, everyone's kind of self-conscious about it. And what do? Hey, guys, bicycle. Let's go extend it, guys. Come on.
It's like that toy from the early 90s, the Skip It. You remember the?
I remember the
Skippers. Yeah. It's like one of those on top of your helmet.
Bobo, kind of like that is what you're talking about.
Oh, wow, that's incredible.
So you got the front of the trail. You can look down. You got your cockpit.
Wow.
And
that's incredible.
Yeah. I think the ones that I've seen where they mount a handlebar, it's like right down on the handlebar, and like it looks real bad. Like the handlebars look like they're like going forward just because of the weird stitch or whatever. But that looks pretty cool.
Don't do what I did and use the handlebar mount for the 360 camera. It introduces a ton of shape to the video. Actually clamp it to the stem. Like P&W components make one with the GoPro mount built in, which Joe has. Or on Amazon, I actually found a little adapter you can mount to the front of your stem, and you can stick your camera on it, and it is super stable that way. I don't know how it works, but it just does.
So to bring it back to the bike park stuff, to kind of segue through the cameras, a lot of one of the cool things about bike parks and camera gear is that you have a lot more flexibility to get crazy with mount points, because on the trail, having something that sticks out like a foot in front of your fork or on your helmet on like regular trail riding, you can't get away with that because you're going to hook it on something and you're going to snap it off. But like maybe I've never been to Whistler, and I'm hoping to go this July when I'm up in Bellingham, but the trails are so much more wide. You can actually get away with that stuff. So kind of a question for the guys that have been to Whistler. And this is going back to Eric, what is the one thing you would recommend not doing as a newbie that like every newbie does? Whether it's like getting too excited and trying to hit too many things, or what's like the one thing you guys would say don't do on your first round?
I mean, whenever I go to a bike park, I haven't been to Whistler, but the first thing I usually hear from someone is like, the guy at Bailey. He's always like, "We just redid some jumps. We did this. It looks different. So roll everything your first time down." He says that to the whole truck most times, and he's right. Usually, you get down it and it's like, "Holy shit, this section is totally different." You know, I'm glad I did roll it because that jump is a lot steeper. It kicks you way different than it did before. But you know, if it's your first time, I'm pretty sure you're going to take it easy the first time down. Anyways, it's like common sense advice. I've never been to Whistler.
Okay,
so I'm glad that I spoke up.
Are there going to be people with cameras all over their bodies, or is it just going to be me?
No, just you. It's always just you, man.
Oh, man.
No,
that's going to be my next question.
Speaking of hydration packs, what do?
You don't wear one.
I hate wearing anything at a park. Like,
really?
Yeah. Well, as far as like packs, not clothes. I wear clothes, but packs drive me nuts. But then at the same time, it's good for protection, but you do look like a huge nerd, and it's just kind of unneeded. I usually wear like what people call them hip packs because they sound a lot cooler, but a friggin' fanny pack. That's what I typically wear at a park. And then just like throw a water bottle. It depends on the park. Some parks have like, yeah, there you go. That's fine. Depends on the park. Some of them have like little like water tap right in the lift line, which is nice.
Cool.
And then in which case I don't even bring water with me. I just grab a drink on the way back up to the next thing. But if they don't, just bring a water bottle.
Because I'll have all kinds of camera stuff with me. I have to put it somewhere, right? Like,
So
I have cargo shorts, but
So you'd be surprised what you can fit in your shorts. That's what she said. But seriously, I think that's a mistake most people who go to the bike park make. I took my cousin to the bike park for his first time, and he brought his hydration pack. I was like, "What are you doing? You don't need that today." And I did the same thing. First time I went to a bike park, you get on the lift and you're like sitting forward, you're like can't get comfortable because you got your hydration pack on behind you.
Yep.
so
What
let's
What are some of the social faux pas? Like, you guys were talking about the pecking order and all that stuff. What's some of the things that you shouldn't do? Like, I'm sure it's cool to like ask people like, "Hey, you look about the same skill level I am. Mind if you tow me into this feature?" That's normal courtesy. But like, are there any like things that are different in bike parks that you would do on the trail or vice versa? Or any separate rules?
Yeah.
Not really. Like the only things that I don't know, like I can't really think of much, but it's just that sometimes things can just be like higher speed, so like higher stakes. So like if you're coming up on somebody fast, like you gotta yell real good and loud, like coming up on your left or whatever. But I'm just trying to think of like specific things to bike parks that would be different from trail centers.
The only thing that I can think of is they're very adamant about you not stopping on the trail.
Right. Yeah.
One thing that surprised me was my inability to get down a trail without stopping, because you think descending is not so bad, but it's such a workout on your body, and the arm pump is like next level. So the first time I went to the bike park, I had to stop 3 times before I could get down. And you have to just, be very smooth and make a decision. I'm going to stop. I'm pulling over here and get off the trail right away.
Yeah.
But that's another reason why you start last. Just start last and you don't have to worry about it. So
I take lots of breaks. Like, should I like do a rundown, take like half hour, 45 minutes, just hang out, or take a lift to the top and drink a beer if you're Bobo? Like, should I plan on taking a break?
I don't know. It just kind of depends on how you're feeling, really, and what kind of trails you're hitting. Like some stuff, and it depends on the park. Like if I go to Whistler, it's pretty like you don't get worn out super, super fast. But if I go to one like Kicking Horse, which is a lot steeper and a lot rougher, I'm stopping at least 3 times before I get to the bottom, because this is rough on you. Like you're sliding your hands off of your handlebar and trying to pry your fingers open halfway down.
I can only imagine what it's going to be like for me, because I'm riding like this.
Yeah, dude. I hope you have really strong brakes, rear brake. Yeah, because just take your time, man. Take your time and stop as much as you need to.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's using SRAM brakes.
Oh yeah, that's too bad.
So I actually have a warped rotor again. So I actually have a new rotor to put on, and then I'm going to sand down my organics. I've got some freshy tokens to put in. What other like bike maintenance things should I be doing before I go?
Your seat. You're going to get lower on your bike than you've ever been before. If you go down the first time and your seat feels like it's not low enough because the bike park's a little different, you can just take a little Allen key and angle your seat back.
Yeah.
And it'll make up for that little extra room. I need to do that.
Angle it back, but as forward as you can put it.
Oh, okay.
Because you want all that extra room over the back wheel. You don't want your crotch caught up and under there.
I would imagine, having the seat angled up and then forward, you might get caught on the tip there, get a little surprise.
It's not like that. So like if your seat's normally like this, we're talking like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that's like the one thing that I do to my bike going into bike parks, and add a little bit more pressure to the tires, because again, you're hitting everything faster, and there's berms and stuff that squash your tires down. So a couple more PSI to start with, and tilt the seat back a little bit.
That makes sense, because my seat actually is tilted down a little bit because it really helps with climbing.
Yeah, you want to go the opposite way for the park.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because the first thing to remember is you won't be climbing. You're at the park.
Yeah.
But just have it at a relatively comfortable angle so you can still sit on it, but you want that extra clearance. So as forward as you can get it as you can.
And make sure your dropper post is functioning, because you're not going to use it all day, dude. I bet you're so excited for nothing but descending.
To not use my reverb, I'm super excited about.
And with that, I have to go, guys. It was fun chatting with you all. Thanks for bringing me in. And Eric, have fun. I've been at Bonnaroo all weekend. I've gotten 10 hours of sleep in 4 days.
And that shirt.
Yeah. Amongst other things. But I'm going to go to sleep because I'm dead. So good seeing you guys.
Thanks, man.
Have fun at the park, man. Can't wait to see the video.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Take it easy, Bobo.
Yeah, so what about my shock? Rear shock, should I set it the same? My weight plus like 15, 20 pounds.
Do you feel as though you can tell the difference between settings on your shock? Like if you were to notch the rebound one way or the other, you'd feel the difference? Some people can, some people can't. So I would say the biggest adjustment that you can make on your bike, like as far as like sag point, just stick to whatever it normally is. But bike parks are all about jumps a lot of the time. So it's really the rebound that can help you, whether like if you're being bucked constantly, like if your back end is springing out on you, slow your rebound down a little bit and just kind of like see how it is. So just go in the same way your bike is normally. And then if you find you're always getting bucked, like every single time, just try slowing that down and just like a click or two, and then just seeing if that changes anything for your jump. It may or may not do it. Like it could be your actual like form going over the jump, but I found sometimes I forget and I'll go and hit the first jump on crank it up and just be like, and just get launched, right? So yeah, it definitely makes a difference, the rebound.
I think that, and I'm not an expert on this, but I believe GMBN did a video on this where they were talking about how to get the rebound set, or at least, you know, at a neutral position, and then you can customize it from there. If you take the bike and then drop it from a few feet level, if it bounces, if it like kind of hits once and then bounces, you know, lands on both tires, you're fine. But if it does like the bonk that, or one way or the other, it means your rebound is too much on one shock or the other. You want to kind of balance it. But like I said, I'm not an expert on that. But I would say that would be my first attempt to make sure the rear shock isn't too crazy. But if it isn't bothering you now, then yeah, like Ryan said, I would assume that because I've gone to a few jump parks here in Austin, and when I'm on my Yeti, if I have a little bit too much rebound, I feel it pretty quick because I'll go nose heavy on some stuff.
Yeah.
Are you running any tokens in your fork at the moment, Eric?
Yeah, I think though that I only have one. So I did get some new tokens for the pike that I need to put in. I'm gonna go 2.
I would say 2, maybe 3, because you're around the same weight, height, everything as me. When I hit like jump lines and stuff like that, then I will be usually, before I got my DVC, running 3 tokens. I would be running about 5 PSI more. Some people say you run less, but I found running more with 2 clicks, slower rebound worked way better for me.
Okay.
Because the ramp up will pretty much give you the rebound you need, slow that down so it'll be like pretty much bang on.
It sounds like what I should do is just go and do a lap or 2 and see how it feels, and then dial it from there. That seems like a good consensus.
Yeah, for sure. You just gotta feel the bike out. Like do the first lap, make sure everything's working, your brakes and stuff. And like, so here's one thing that I found with, you were talking about SRAM brakes before. My last bike and the bike before that and the bike before that had SRAM brakes, and I found, especially like with the fast elevation changes, if you needed to bleed on your brakes, you'll even just a little bit, you'll find out real fast when you go from the bottom of a mountain to the, and then just are transported to the very top. Yeah, if there's bubbles in there, they'll make themselves really present really fast. So
also that people that ride a lot of park don't run organic pads. Is that
Yeah, organics
Sintered,
generally not a great idea ever, really. Sintered is kind of where it's at. It's more powerful. The only thing is it can be a little bit noisier.
Yeah.
But
a little bit. That's
yeah,
normally where you get the turkey gobbling from.
yeah, it's true. But oh, speaking of which, this is I've been looking more into this because if you guys have been watching my videos, I've had such a hard time with the noise from my Hope brakes. Doesn't matter what the conditions are, there's always this ultra high pitched squeak. It's not a squeal, it's not a gobble, it's like just like an ear piercing 12 kilohertz frequency. It's just awful. And but there's this company called Trick Stuff. You ever heard of them? They're out of Germany. And they make pads for pretty much all types of brakes. And they're supposed to make your pads like 20 or your brakes like 20% stronger and zero noise. And they did a test specifically with SRAM guides. And it was like exactly like a magazine did the test. And it was 20% stronger braking power and never a peep, ever. Completely silent, even in the wet. So I just ordered some yesterday.
Is it a liquid?
No, it's just brake pads.
Oh, it's the pad itself?
Yeah.
Trick Stuff, you say? I wonder if they make it in Magura.
They had a whole bunch listed.
Mine don't like squeak while under braking or anything like that. Like if the pads are just slightly off center, then you'll get that little when you're pedaling. Yeah.
I'm just gonna go on their website right now and see if they have any Magura. Because yeah, like they've got some big promises there, so I'm really wanting to try them out.
I'd imagine a day at a bike park, like a proper bike park, is worth like 5 epic rides on the trail as far as bike maintenance, like everything you have to do. Like if your wheel is slightly out of true, taking it to a bike park, I assume it's going to find that one weak spoke and snap it.
Yep. Every time. Your bike will be...
Ryan earlier said in the chat, like, you're just going to rattle the shit out of your bike, so be prepared for when you get done to just take it for, like, a giant tune-up.
Yeah, all your bearings, your suspension, and your tires, and your wheels, everything gets hammered at bike parks, just destroyed.
Yeah. Oh, so remember that persistent squeak that I was hearing? Joseph and John?
Yes.
The ring, the bearing that's in my rear hub, somehow that ring got bent. So what we were hearing is as the wheel was spinning, that bearing would like wobble a little bit. So weird. So I just bought a new. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. Well, we did think, like, after everything we tried, the conclusion came down to it had to be in a bearing in the hub.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know that in the end we were right.
Yeah, we tried crank, spokes, everything. But
quick question. Because your brakes were feeling pretty spongy out at Reveille, did you get them re-bled or?
So I figured it out.
Yeah.
I don't need a bleed. I don't need a new pads. My pads are fine. My rear rotor, the reason that I basically have like almost a full pool now. My rear rotor, which is funny because it's newer than my front rotor, is slightly warped. So if you look at my brake pads and you look at the rotor, you can see the streaks on the rotor and it's not from the pads itself. So something about that rotor is warped. So I bought a new rotor. I'm going to put that on. I'm supposed to use like a high grit sandpaper to sand those organic pads so that when I put that new rotor on, the pads will match it and apply evenly.
Yeah.
What's that rotor?
180 mil, I think.
I thought about getting the, 203 millimeter. There's like an adapter.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, as far as like using one hand for both brakes, yeah, like big rotors wouldn't be such a bad idea, to get that extra power.
Extra power, extra cooling too.
Yeah.
If you do
will they make the adapter from 180 to 203 for front and rear?
Yep.
Yeah.
If you do make it up this way, Eric, I've got an adapter and a 203 rotor sitting here doing nothing because the max size you can run on the rear is a 180.
Yeah. Well, I might, I've heard that the shop at Angelfire is like really fair and that they're really good mechanics. So I might. I mean, I'm not too worried about like going in being completely unprepared. I'm just thinking the only things that's special to my setup is obviously just like everything about my hand. Everything else, I feel okay with. If I need to go to the shop, I will. I mean, you saw like Josh potato chipped his wheel basically and was still rode down the mountain and was able to get it trued at the shop. So
Yep.
everything else I'm not too worried about, and I'm pretty sure that they'll like take pretty good care of me. The only thing that I felt bad about, because I thought about renting a downhill bike, but I was worried about saying, hey, I think they do like whatever the Scott downhill bikes are at Angelfire. I felt bad calling them and being like, hey, do you have any grip shift that you can put on? And can you put it on the left-hand side? And can you also stack the levers on the left-hand side? And also, can I bring my own grips to put on the right-hand side? And also, can like I felt bad just being like making a whole bunch of requests, like even though I know that I'm paying them to rent a bike.
Yeah.
I figured I'm used to my bike. I know how it feels. I'm used to progressing on my bike. So
honestly, like with as far as downhill bike parks, it's not like you're entering a downhill race. Bike parks are just like a chance to not pedal for a day and like gain some skills. So I say do it on your regular bike for sure, man. Like, I mean, if you were going and riding just bike park for like 2 weeks straight, a downhill bike's going to be a lot easier on your body if you're just like day after day at the bike park. But if you're just going for like a day or two, yeah, for sure your own bike, I would say. Other than the fact that it's harder on it, but whatever.
I mean, that's one of the things that I'm looking at for next season for whatever bike I get. I'm kind of obsessed over long travel 29ers. So I'm kind of looking at that 170 millimeter range for a 29er bike. And I have a couple prospects, but
it's a big bike, man.
I know, but I mean, I have my high tower, which is good at like 135, 140 range. Like it's really good for basic cross country type stuff. But I wanted I want a bike that I can like really like I can race enduro aggressively and I can still take to the bike park. So
yeah.
Ryan, I just got to point out the fact that you called that a big bike when you have something that's almost like half a foot longer than my extra large Yeti.
Well, when I say big bike, we're talking about different things. Mine's just
I understand. I'm just giving you crap.
Yeah, that's true. But like, well, that's the thing. Like my bike's 140 mil travel bike, but I'm trying to squeeze every last drop of performance out of that 140 mil. So I just put on a coil shock on it actually. And so it's going to be like totally ready for the bike park. I can't wait. But it's still like, it's technically like I guess you'd call it a mid-travel 29er. But it's just all about the geometry, man. Like, I don't know if anybody really needs 170 mil travel 29er. Like, just being a 29er by itself, it's tackling all that chunk like so much better already. But yeah, like I feel like 150 mil is like a sweet spot for that kind of thing.
What about like 170 millimeters, but like a 27.5?
It's still just a ton of bike. Like it's really just about like what are you going to be riding the most, and what sort of confidence do you want to have in things. So like for me, I want a bike. Like I kind of weighed it out because I live in a flat city that has a river valley, and that's where I do a lot of my riding. So I had to weigh out, okay, if I get a bigger bike, am I going to be okay with slogging that bike through my regular riding so it will carry me through the really crazy stuff that I ride other times? And so you have to make that choice. But like for Texas riding, 170 mil bike, that was a big bike.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like I'm going to stop riding my high tower either.
Oh, you're intending on keeping that bike. Okay.
Yeah.
You're a man of means is what you're saying. No, I'm just kidding. I always sell I only ever have one bike, like ever. So I'm always like really thinking about what bike
Joseph, before you leave town, if you need a place to just for your dirt jumper to just, sleep peacefully and not pay rent or anything like that, not be in a storage.
Yeah, I probably will actually. You would be amazed how hard it is to sell a dirt jumper for dirt cheap.
Yeah, I'm sure you got a lot of like used Xbox return emails on that one. And probably DJ gear. They'll probably try and trade you for it. Yeah.
Tons of lowball offers, like swap meets.
Yeah.
I brought it to a swap meet. I had it listed on Pink Bike. I've had it listed on local groups, and I asked like Alex Chamberlain and Paul the Punter, like, hey, is this a fair price? And they're like, yeah, it's totally a fair price. And so yeah, I felt confident going into it, but like people would look at it, and at best, I would have people that, you know, appreciated what kind of bike it was. Like, wow, that's awesome. Oh, that's such a good price. I was like, you want to buy it? No.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably just going to live with Eric because we've run out of room in our moving pod. And I got to leave a bike behind, and I'm not leaving Eric my Yeti. We're not that good of friends.
I got a visitor.
Oh, hey, pup.
His name is Flynn.
Nice.
Yeah, I think the longer that bike lives here, the easier it'll be for me to just be like, you know what? Let's commit to my wife. I'm just gonna give Joseph some money, and I'm just gonna keep it. Maybe I'll put a new fork on it. Maybe not. There's Pflugerville Skate Park down the road here. There's Walnut Creek down the road here.
It could use a fork. Right now it's full rigid, which is fine if you don't, you know, send it too hard, or if you're really smooth, because, you know, BMX riders don't complain about having full rigid. Yeah. So yeah, you could put a fork on it, do a few sessions at some parks, free ride 512 park. Maybe I'll see you hit that 14-foot drop in one day.
Probably not. Definitely not without.
Right on, man. Hey, speaking of leaving, I gotta get some stuff done. It was good talking with you. I'll see you at least a couple more times before I leave this Saturday.
Cool. Yeah, I hope so. I leave Thursday, so at the very least, we'll be in touch.
Right on, man. Oh, that's good to know, because I'll talk to you offline. But anyways, it was good. It was good chatting with you guys, and everyone out there watching. Have a good night.
All right. Cheers, man.
Patrick,
yeah, and I'm supposed to be putting out a video first thing tomorrow morning, and I haven't started editing it yet.
What?
And videos usually take me like 12 hours, so I should probably get going.
I was very slack. I literally only just recorded tomorrow's video today.
Oh, really?
Man, I can't do that. I will either something will happen really quick for me, or I'll spend a lot of time editing a video. Like either it'll just like pop together really fast, or I'll have to really like labor of love it. So
yeah. For sure. Well, unfortunately for me, this is one of those ones where it's like I'm just riding a trail top to bottom. Yeah. And then that's it. I just finished my ride at that Coast Gravity Park, bike park. And then after I packed my bike up, Gary, the guy that runs the bike shop that I was at earlier, he showed up on his e-bike, and he's like, oh, I got to show you this trail. Put your bike back together. And I was like all tired from the whole thing. And I'm like, oh man, all right. He's like, and we got to climb that hill to get there. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah. And so I actually grabbed his backpack, and he yanked me up a hill with his e-bike. And I was spinning out. I had it in a climbing gear, and we were speeding up so much, I felt like I needed to change gears because we were just like straight up. And then we hit this crazy, loamy, amazing trail right down to his house. So that's what I'm editing right now. Should be relatively easy, I guess, hopefully.
Yeah. All right, well, I actually, I don't know if you can tell, but it's like 100 degrees here, and I'm sweating my butt off.
You have no aircon in the garage there, so
do you remember when we put on the tire how hot it was in here? Yeah, it's hotter now. So and I've been going for almost 2 hours.
With those lights on, you've got the door shut too, eh?
Yeah. I cannot wait to go to Angelfire. I'm super excited. I've put a lot of thought into like how I'm going to pack and the things I'm going to take. And, I appreciate you guys and all of your advice on what to do. I totally feel like a dork going for the first time. I'm sure that I'm going to do some really dorky things, but
I hope so.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I hope by the end of the day, day one, I'm going to feel so much more confident, I'm sure. So
all I can say is dorky things make for great footage.
Yeah. Yep.
You could do no wrong. Yeah, have fun, man.
Thanks.
It's going to be a good time.
Oh, and thanks to everybody that's been tuned in. I appreciate you listening to me ramble for a little bit. Just a reminder, I do have those jerseys for sale. Chris posted the link. I don't know if he still has it, but those jerseys are awesome. I can't wait to get them. And what else? I think that's it. I just keep tuned for Friday, my first 360 VR type video. So you're going to be able to look around. I'm super stoked for that. I'm really excited to run it by you guys first as well. So it's gonna be really fun. I got a bunch of stuff coming up, but I might be quiet for 4 days starting on Thursday. So
all right, man. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks.
I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
No worries.